All right, let's do the second set of questions from Arthur Aaron's psychology study on how to bring two strangers into a heightened state of intimacy through 36 questions. I've already answered the first set here. This is the second set. 13. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? I don't want to know whether or not I'm going to hit someone with a car. I want to know how that scenario plays out. Do I go to jail? Does everyone hate me? My friend is helping me with my driving style, so maybe this will mitigate some of my fear. 14. Is there something you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? Oh, it'd be so fun to have a school, specifically in this church down the road, to kind of convert this old building into an institute to teach the up-and-coming generation of sexologists. Personal dream, I would love to have this beautiful house surrounded by fields of wildflowers. People could come and I would sell vases, and then they could walk around and make bouquets for themselves and just be a lovely way of life. Ooh, why haven't I done these things? Because I think there's a lot of rigmarole when it comes to starting an institute, and I don't need to live this retired wildflower life just yet. I have more to do. 15. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life? It's a major accomplishment that I get out of bed in the morning. That tells me that I have more to give the planet than I feel like I take away from it. 16. What do you value most in a friendship? 90% honesty. That's from a movie. What movie is it from? Interstellar. I want someone to be honest with me, but I also love it when people monitor themselves, not to manipulate me, but to be kind. 17. What is your most treasured memory? I had just finished a job in Missoula between my bachelor's and my master's, and I went to the airport in Missoula with my bag packed to get on the plane and leave to go to school in Ohio. And it was this really nice day. There was nothing to indicate that the plane would not take off. But this announcement came up on the screen that the flight was delayed. And I, in this little tiny Missoula airport, was jumping up and down and running and laughing and dancing and singing. I was so happy to not go. And that moment changed my life. 18. What is your most terrible memory? This memory and the last one happened within the same year, and I remember marking them as the best and worst days of my life. Essentially, people took my partner in a car and told me that they were going to not return him forever. And I thought I was never going to see him again. And it was more than my young 20s self could manage. And yet I did. Look at that. I found the courage. I got through the night. My partner and I ended up driving home together. Everything worked out, but it was very traumatic. The treasured memories and the terrible memories, they just collect and we go on. 19. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are now living? Why? Yes, I would spend more time in my present with human beings that I can touch and see and look. I would go to Chile. I would write some sort of pity grant, like somebody give me money so that I can leave behind the legacy that I want to, because I have limited resources and time and I want to accomplish more before I die. 20. What does friendship mean to you? It means reciprocity for holding a safe space to be exactly who we are. 21. What roles do love and affection play in your life? What roles do they play? Well, I can tell you this much. Love has become something that I am conscious of. I think I used to do it unconsciously, and then it was more like a destructive passion where I'm just infatuated. I'm like, swallow and breathe you and love. And now more consciously, I think I understand how people receive love and how they give love. So it's become more like languages where we use different words and sounds to communicate a feeling or an emotion that we have. Affection, if it's consensual, I love being touched and like nuzzle and pet, brush hair. 22. Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. So I think the way that this works is that I'm doing this with a stranger. So the stranger would say a positive characteristic about me, and then I would reciprocate beep, 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 5. I mean, technically you're strangers to me, but I feel like I have a sense of knowing about you. You're very smart, thoughtful, articulate, devoted, and sensitive. 23. How close and warm is your family? Do you feel your childhood was happier than most people's? The family I was raised by was very warm. The family I'm creating is also very warm. Do I feel my childhood was happier than others? Probably. I had a pretty great childhood, but what? Is there intimacy coming from that statement? 24. How do you feel about the relationship with your mother? She lives 2,000 miles away. I don't see her on a regular basis, but I do try and call her multiple times a week, and we talk about really real cool things. We're not only connected as relatives, we are also connected because we love and care about each other as two unique human beings. I had a super tumultuous adolescence with her. As I grew up, I remember my father actually telling me, you know, Lindsay, it will be very difficult for you to have a good relationship with a man if you struggle with your relationship with your mother. Maybe he didn't say it exactly like that, but that is what I held on to. And I worked my ass off on my relationship with my mother because I wanted to have good relationships. That's set 2 on doe eyes.